Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day before we begin the video. Please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Blake Shelton is no stranger to reinvention, and yet he has always maintained an authenticity that fans cling to with pride. His ability to balance his country roots with modern sensibilities has made him one of the most recognizable names in American music and television. Now he finds himself stepping into a new chapter where he looks both backward and forward, drawing inspiration from unlikely places while keeping his heart grounded in Oklahoma soil. Shelton's latest album has sparked major conversation not only for its chart success, but also for the way it fuses influences from artists outside of country music, most notably the surprising touch of Post Malone, whose genre-crossing journey resonates deeply with Shelton's own evolution. When discussing his creative spark, Shelton has often credited the great storytellers of the country's past. But this time he admits that something about Post Malone's artistry pushed him to think differently. Known for his laid-back swagger, his blend of hip-hop, pop, and rock, and his ability to craft melodies that feel universal, Malone represents a kind of creative freedom that Shelton found irresistible. For years, Shelton has been associated with the traditional Nashville circuit and the voice stage, but watching Malone blur lines gave him permission to experiment without fear. He has described the process as freeing, explaining that it was not about abandoning who he is but about broadening the horizon of what country music could sound like. The result is an album that feels fresh, bold, and deeply personal, while still unmistakably Blake. The centerpiece of this record is the breakout hit Texas, a song that stormed up the charts faster than anyone could have anticipated. Shelton has scored hits throughout his career, but this one carries a different weight. It is not just another catchy radio single, but a full-fledged anthem that blends Texas grit with universal longing. The track opens with twangy guitar riffs that pay homage to honky-tonk tradition before sliding seamlessly into a chorus that feels as massive as any modern stadium production. The influence of Post Malone is not direct, but it is felt in the melodic phrasing and in the fearless willingness to bend expectation. Shelton's vocal delivery is powerful yet conversational, making the listener feel as if he is telling their story while also telling his own. The song's rise to #1 was both a professional triumph and a personal validation for Shelton. For an artist who has already reached so many milestones, he admits there was something uniquely exciting about watching Texas connect with fans of all ages. Younger listeners heard the modern edge that reminded them of their streaming playlists, while longtime fans recognized the sincerity and soul that has always defined him. It became a rare cultural bridge moment, one that showed how country music can evolve without losing its identity. Alongside the buzz around his album, Shelton is once again preparing for his return to The Voice, the show that helped transform him from a country star into a household name recognized in living rooms across America. For more than a decade, he was the cornerstone of the coaching panel, known for his quick-wit, good-natured rivalry with Adam Levin and his ability to spot raw talent. His departure left a noticeable gap, and fans have been clamoring for his comeback. Now, with renewed energy from his musical endeavors, Shelton is stepping back into that red chair with something to prove and something to give. He has said that returning to The Voice feels different this time because he is not just coaching. He is reflecting on everything he has learned during his time away. Watching new artists break through outside of the show, listening to how platforms like TikTok and streaming have redefined discovery, and working on his own record with outside influences, all of it has given him fresh perspective. He wants to bring that knowledge back to contestants not as a lecture, but as proof that reinvention is possible at any stage. Shelton insists that part of his coaching style now will be encouraging singers to take risks, reminding them that country music itself is a genre built on evolution. Shelton has been open about how his marriage to Gwen Stefani has grounded him and given him a deeper sense of purpose. Their relationship blossomed on the very set of The Voice, and now coming back feels like a full-circle moment. The couple have often spoken about the blending of their musical worlds, with Stefani's pop-rock roots and Shelton's country swagger meeting in unexpected harmony. That influence shows up subtly on the new album, as well with hints of Stefani's pop sensibility woven into the production choices. Shelton acknowledges that her encouragement has been key in pushing him to embrace experimentation rather than clinging to comfort zones. The reception to the album has been overwhelming, with critics praising the boldness of Shelton's choices while noting that he has not lost the storytelling soul that defines him. Fans at live shows have responded with thunderous applause to Texas, often singing back every word so loudly that Shelton admits he sometimes steps back just to listen. The live performances have become almost spiritual moments where the old and new collide, a reminder that country music is as much about community as it is about individual expression. Shelton himself has reflected on the irony that it took looking outside of the country for inspiration to bring him back closer to its roots. He sees in Post Malone's Freedom a reflection of what country legends like Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings represented decades ago when they broke away from Nashville's conventions to forge their own outlaw sound. To Shelton, it is not about copying Malone, but about rediscovering that rebellious spirit that first drew him to music. He hopes that younger country artists watching his journey will feel empowered to blend styles, experiment with sounds, and most importantly remain true to their own voice, even if it defies expectation. Behind the scenes, the making of this album was not without challenge. Shelton describes long nights in the studio wrestling with arrangements, wondering if fans would accept the new direction, and doubting whether radio would embrace something less conventional. But each time those doubts crept in, he returned to the same guiding principle, that authenticity wins. He leaned on longtime collaborators who know his strengths but also welcomed new voices who pushed him into uncharted territory. That balance of comfort and challenge created the soundscape that defines the record. As Shelton embarks on this new era, there is a palpable sense of gratitude. He has often spoken about how he never imagined the life he lives now, from the ranch in Oklahoma to the spotlight of The Voice to the global stage of country superstardom. He remains in awe of the fans who continue to show up, buy tickets, sing along, and trust him with their stories. For him, success is not measured by trophies or chart positions, though those matter, but by connection and the way a song like Texas can make a stranger feel seen. Looking ahead, Shelton shows no sign of slowing down. With the album climbing charts, The Voice returning to television screens, and his personal life flourishing with Gwen and family, he stands at a rare intersection of professional triumph and personal contentment. Yet he remains grounded, reminding everyone that at the core he is still the same guy who grew up in Ada, Oklahoma, chasing a dream with a guitar and a stubborn belief that country music mattered. He says that every time he steps on stage or into the studio, he feels like that young kid again, just grateful for the chance to sing. In many ways, this season of his life represents a broader shift in the entertainment world. Genres are collapsing, barriers are breaking, and audiences are more open than ever to music that refuses to be neatly categorized. Shelton's decision to draw inspiration from Post Malone is emblematic of that change, a recognition that great music is great music regardless of labels. By leaning into that truth, he not only reinvents himself, but also contributes to the larger evolution of country music in the 21st century. The return to The Voice adds another layer because it positions Shelton not just as an artist, but as a mentor who can guide the next generation through this shifting landscape. His humor, his authenticity, and his deep understanding of the industry make him uniquely qualified to help young singers navigate the chaos. Contestants know that when Shelton speaks, he is not just offering strategy, but sharing the wisdom of someone who has lived it. Fans watching at home know they will once again be treated to the familiar banter and warmth that made him a fixture tour to showcase the new record. Shelton is already teasing that fans can expect a blend of old favorites and new experiments. He is committed to delivering the kind of show that feels like both a party and a family gathering, a celebration of country music's past, present, and future. He promises moments of intimacy where stripped-down ballads reveal vulnerability alongside raucous anthems like Texas that bring the house down. It is this balance that has always defined him as a mix of humor, heart, and honesty that keeps people coming back. What stands out most about Blake Shelton's new chapter is the sense of freedom that radiates from every word he speaks and every note he sings. He has nothing left to prove, and yet he still pushes himself to explore. He honors tradition while daring to innovate. He celebrates personal joy while inviting fans into the journey. Whether it is through the twang of his guitar, the roar of a crowd, or the laughter on the voice stage, Shelton embodies the spirit of an artist who refuses to stand still. Blake Shelton's new album, inspired in part by the creative courage of Post Malone, his chart-topping single Texas, and his much-anticipated return to The Voice together tell the story of an artist still at the height of his powers. It is a reminder that music at its best is not about staying in one lane, but about following the road wherever it leads, even if it surprises you. For Shelton, that road is still wide open, and for his fans, that means the journey is only just beginning. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe to our American Idol YouTube channel for more updated news.